Professor Muhammad Yunus, the former Chief Advisor to the interim government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, founder of Grameen Bank, and 2006 Nobel Peace Laureate, a globally respected pioneer of microcredit and social business. Myself, Dr. Emadul Islam, and I am the Senior Research Fellow at the Sasakawa Foundation, and my colleague, Dr. Dissa. It is a great honor for us to have this interview with you as a part of the Harmony by Design Asia Dialogue hosted by the Sasakawa Foundations. Thank you, Excellency, for your valuable time and talk. Today's conversations, we would like to cover the two big issues, that is social business and the peace building in the fragile context. We know you are the pioneer of social business and another big ideas that's called the microcredit. So our first question to you, that you have long argued that poverty is not created by the poor, but by the system that excludes them. So my first question is, how do you connect economic exclusion to instability and conflict in fragile societies? Could you please share your experience with us?
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy that you raised this very important issue, but why people are poor. Usually the explanation given is people are poor because they're not capable of taking care of themselves, they don't earn enough, or they are not active enough to earn their livelihood, or they lack something, either intellectually or physically. They are not as equipped as a normal person. But the more closely you look at the poor people, you see they're desperate to change their life. They have all the abilities in the world. Simply system doesn't allow them to use those facilities and so on. And then everybody blames them for that, for their failure. I said, that's wrong. You have not created an environment where he can or she can come out of the poverty that she is in. So conclusion I draw from my experiences, poverty is not created by the poor people. They are not the responsible person for creation of the poverty and imposed on themselves. It's the theoretical framework that we created, institutional framework that we created, are responsible for their poverty. And I take the case in point, particularly about the banking system. I said they need money to start their life, but that money will never be given to them. Banks are supposed to lend money to overcome their shortage of capital so that they can start their life. But the bank will not touch anybody if you are poor. I said, that's where you are wrong. Blame the banking system. They explained, saying that we cannot lend money to poor people because they don't have collateral.
Right.
I said, again, that's a very strange argument. Why can't you develop a banking system where you don't need collateral? Then it solves the problem, because all you want to make sure that your money comes back. So it's impossible to do that. So I started my own way, how to handle this situation. I started a banking system without any collateral. Everybody said it cannot work, but we've repeatedly proven that it works as good, as even better than the collateral-based banking system. So we can go to any person who is willing to make a try, to change their life, to bring more income for themselves. If the fund is necessary, this is the money we provide. And that's the beginning of what we call now microcredit, small loans. But this is not the size of the loan makes it important, it's the fact that it's not based on any collateral. Because to begin with, they cannot offer any collateral. Right. So if you make it a condition, then it will never work. So we created a system where you don't need to provide collateral, still it works. And then they said maybe it was work in Bangladesh with a very peculiar Bangladeshi society. I said, no, it will work anywhere. So then it was spread in other countries and again demonstrated that it works. That's how the idea of microcredit spread. That's how poor people have changed in this structure of the institutions, right kind of institutions, which is good for them.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. So do you think is it applicable equally to in the fragile context?
This is not any condition that a particular political situation has to exist before we go. So we don't presuppose any particular conditions. It is the person who needs to earn an income and looking for money. Nobody gives the money. There's no institution which provides the first money to begin with. You go there, provide that. So it may be a fragile economy, it may be any other kind of economy. That's a broader picture. It's a very small picture that you are dealing with. You have a person who is desperate to earn an income, but the facilities are not available to make it happen. You help them, whether they're in a particular political setup or it's not relevant.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. But we would like to point out one of the issues in the fragile context that you are the interim government head of the Bangladesh. So we are aware about that Bangladesh is a very big crisis. It's called the Rohingya refugee crisis in Bangladesh. So our recent research in the camps and policy advocacy highlighted that the Rohingya crisis has evolved from humanitarian emergency into the regional security risks. And our findings shows that, which is very much aligned with your philosophy, that the structural exclusions such as restricted mobility, limited income opportunities, which is relevant to the economic exclusions, and barriers of economic participations significantly increases security risks among refugees. So I would like to ask you, from your perspective, how can economic inclusion reduce security tension between displaced population and the host communities?
Right.
What is your thought?
The problem in a situation like Rohingya camps in Bangladesh, you are living in the middle of villages around you, with the normal Bangladeshi villages, with their poverty, with their struggle, with their making a life for their families and so on. In the middle of it, you have a camp.
Right.
The camp is taken care of by international community. Yeah. And then if you ask them to participate in the economy outside the camp, then there's a tension. That tension doesn't make it a good condition for people who are in the camp to live with, because people outside the camp are not happy because there's a camp there. Their simple idea is, how come the whole world is trying to help you? Nobody helps us.
Right.
So you're competing with somebody who's not helped by anybody, with someone who's helped by everybody.
Right.
So that tension grows. So it's better to make sure they do not increase the tension level by giving them additional support to the camp dwellers. So that's how the camp dwellers cannot go outside and participate in the economy of the neighbors. So this is how it's been following.
Yes. Thank you, sir. So we'd like to come out again the peace building items, because you know that now the world is a new world order, and here is a lot of conflict in different parts of the world. So traditional peace building is seen as the job of diplomats and soldiers. However, you have argued that poverty and exclusions are the root causes of instability. In 2026, as we phrase portrayed crises like war and conflict, why must we view entrepreneurship as a security strategy, not just a charity strategy?
Well, it's a security strategy because people feel taken care of. When I'm allowed to express my entrepreneurial ability, I can take care of myself. But in most of the cases where you're in a camp situation, you don't have that opportunity.
Right.
You are not interacting with the economy outside of the camp, because it creates another set of problems. So that way, although you can promote that idea of participating in an economy or create your own economy, but it remains as a small economy within yourself. You can sell things only among the camp dwellers. That's not a big thing because whatever facility you got, I got the same facility. So there's not much of a trading, exchange of things anymore. So that way you cannot express your ability to take care of yourself by exchanges of goods and services. It's a very limited opportunity, very extremely limited. That doesn't make a difference in the life that you live with the resources given to you by the people who are providing services to you for maintenance of your life. Social business is important when you let people depend on charity. So one way you give them free food, free shelter, free other amenities of life, but that's something that they don't have to work for. But you can create some scope for social businesses in case of in exchange of giving free money. You say, okay, why don't you start your business and do the business among the dwellers of the camp and temporary residents that you have. You repeat the same village situation. Village has an economy. So when you're pushed out of your village, you create a new village. And you are dependent on outsiders to help you. So their outsiders can do things, give them free money, free food to take care of them. At the same time, they can also start doing things where you build your own economy. Instead of giving free foods, you say, okay, why don't you set up a shop? You have this item, somebody has, this is the thing that you have expertise in. So we support you to start a business so that you do the business like repetition of a village situation. So that it's not simply donations coming in, you create your own economy to do that. So that's possible. Again, it depends on the circumstances and the nature of the displacement that you have gone through.
Yes, Prof, I totally agree with your wisdom. So from another perspective, we'd like to talk with you in our Harmony by Design discussions that we found that we cannot solve the conflict through regulations. So dialogue and negotiation is the key. So what is your opinion regarding this?
That's again a bigger issue. It's not the issue related to those who are in the camps. It's an issue where the basis of the conflict itself, where this conflict came. In case of Rohingyas, they are thrown out of their houses, right, out of their villages. When you go to Rohingya camps in Cox's Bazar, everybody will tell you, look, we are not here to beg food from international community. We are not beggars here. We are a whole community here.
Right.
Within our community that are displaced from our homes, we are forced out of our homes because our houses are burned, or we cannot live in a situation where we are put into. So we had to flee, we had to run away from that place and create the same community elsewhere. So we are a whole community here. We are teachers, we are lawyers, we are doctors, we are professional people. We are farmers, we have our land there, we have our cows, we have all the things that a farmer needs, we have them. We produce our own food. We are not begging food for anybody else. We can feed you.
Right.
If we can go home. So all we want to do is to go home where we used to be. So this is a different kind of community. It's right, uprooted by some political circumstances. They are waiting to go home, and they'll continue to wait for home. So this is a community that we can help so that they can retain their relationship with each other and continue to wait for return home. So the solution is not just to feed them in this thing. Right. Solution lies where this problem began. Problem in this case of Rohingya, problem is in Myanmar.
Right.
And the solution is in Myanmar.
Right.
You cannot find solution elsewhere. So whatever you do, all you have to do, environment has to be created so that they can safely go home and stay there safely.
Yes. Yeah, we believe that voluntary and dignified
Absolutely.
reparations.
Absolutely.
May I request my colleague to end
Please.
his Indonesia experience.
Yes. So, Professor,
Yeah.
moving on from the camps in Bangladesh to post-conflict and post-disaster area in Indonesia, which is where we work right now at Sasakawa Peace Foundation, we are applying similar principles as the social business and social entrepreneurship values that you have been, relentlessly teaching us as well. And I want to bring you to Central Sulawesi, which is in the eastern part of Indonesia. It's far away, around 3 hours by plane from Jakarta.
Wow.
And in one area called Palu, it was hit by tsunami in 2018, earthquake, triple disaster, and people have to find a way to get back on their feet using the economy or using the tools that they cannot just rely on grants from other outsider. So we are working with local government to create policies specifically to support social enterprises as the engines of recovery. So today I have two questions on this. First, on the context of post-disaster, how in Palu we're working with local government to push for social entrepreneurship, but oftentimes local government actually struggle to understand what is social business, why like business and social mission usually don't go together. That's what they understand, and we are trying to bridge that gap. But my question is that how can we encourage more Asian governments to promote social business or social enterprises as a strategy to recover local economy, like we are trying to do right now in Central Sulawesi, and to bring more government to pilot or to adopt social businesses as a value?
The idea of social business comes when normal activities of families and individuals fail because of the outside interference, because of the accidents, because of the natural disaster, whatever. So you are not able to continue in that situation. So here you are dependent on outsiders. So at one time in the beginning, you cannot afford to put in your resources because you have lost all the resources. So somebody has to put money into your hand so that you can start this. If you are farmers, you start farming. If you are a businessman, you start your business, so on and so forth. But gradually, we have to do it in a way you get closer to the normal economic behavior. So there, you don't bring all the issues of economic behavior. You don't repeat the same donation kind of thing, free food, free things. So it's in between. I give you food with understanding when you are able, you return the food that I give you. I give you money in the same condition that when you are able, you return the money to you. It's a kind of softer version of the regular economy. If you go to a bank, they will not give the money. So I want to make sure it's a softer version of the thing that I help you to overcome your problem. When you're fit, you can start doing it in a normal way. So. Here in a social business, one important thing is in a real business world, you want to make money if you are doing business with somebody. Here, the other side is not capable of behaving in a normal situation because of the situation of in which she is in. So there we make it softer. It's okay. You do it in a softer way that we give you the money. I don't want to make money out of you. All I want, you can return whatever I have given, come back to me. So it's not a business with the profit motive. It's a business to problem-solving motive. I'm trying to help you overcome your present situation. When you are fully recovered, then we can have a regular business relationship that I make money and you benefit from your services that I'm providing. It's a marketplace again. Before we can go into the marketplace situation, we have a kind of softer relationship where I'm not asking for the complete recovery of all my money and plus the profit part of it. So I said I run the business as a social business, meaning this is a business to help you rather than make money for ourselves. When we talk about business looks for profit. Here we are not looking for profit. All we want is to get my money back. So create a situation where you can return the money that originally I gave you.
And the softer version is actually also equipping them to be less dependent on aid.
Absolutely, yes. That's number one. We are trying to get you off the charity.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not a free money that you're giving. You take it, and your expectation grows. You want more because it's free.
Yeah.
After you have gone through that, there's a phase which you have to do that in a crisis situation. In a crisis situation, on day one, you're going to say, you have to pay me back.
Yes,
at that time, I don't even know that I'll exist tomorrow.
Yeah.
So there we help each other in a humanitarian way. But that life has to come to an end. It is not going to the full economic relationship where I want to make money, I want to be in a market situation. I mean, it's a softer situation. I at least want whatever I give you, you return the same thing, not the profit part of it, extra part of it. So that's where the social business comes in.
And from this, and we are pushing local governments to work and to understand this concept. At the same time, not far away from Palu, around 5 hours by car, there's this area called Poso that was torn by conflict for a very long time, and they just get out of the conflict around 10 years ago. And our work there is actually to de-radicalize former combatants as well as their wives and train them to generate meaningful income. And we found that when families have economic dignity, the lure of returning back to radicalization or violence actually fade. And from your experience, how crucial is the role of women, and in this case, in our case, is the wives of the combatants, in the transition period from the conflict to the economy of peace, creating economy in a more peaceful time?
In all difficult situations, whether it's a natural disaster, whether it's a political disaster, or in a war situation, women in the family becomes the mainstay, hold the family together. Because they have to take care of the children, they won't give it up. They are in a very sacrificing mode. Men doesn't have that mode. They're still in a fighting mode. So women brings the order in the family, that make sure the children are fed, they are fed themselves, and bring food on the table whenever earliest opportunity you get. So it's a starting point always to go to the women in the family. And they bring the order in the family. And it's very difficult to persuade the men who is in the fighting mode, with the gun around and so on. They want to do things in their way. The sobering effect comes from the family. But women and the children and so on. She tries to persuade that what is better for the family and so on and so forth. So it's very important that we go to the women in the family to bring that and let them understand, let them handle the uneasy situation that exists in the family and between the families and so on, how to overcome that. So they become the kind of factor which brings order in the neighborhood, in the families around you. And that becomes very important in a difficult situation.
So women really are the agents of change in this crisis.
Absolutely, yes. And a very important factor in bringing order in the families.
Yeah, thank you so much. Before I hand back to my colleague, who will be probably talking about 3 zeros, I want to connect with your concept of 3 zeros also. You mentioned about zero poverty, zero employment, zero net carbon, and you also a big advocate of youth. The power of youth. Also, a lot of young people really look up to you. And if I can ask your advice, and for youth in these regions, in fragile contexts, in post-disaster, post-conflict area, what is the most critical skill that they need to build the future? Is it technology? Is it resilience? Is it empathy? Or is it something else?
Youth is a very important factor in all these situations that you describe. For one thing, they are fighters. In the odd circumstances they are in, they want to solve this problem. And they are in a better situation than their elders because of the new technology they possess. You have a phone, father has a phone, the son or the daughter has a phone, but the services that they can provide through the phone is more familiar to the young people than the older people. Older people know a little bit how to use the phone, what are the circumstances where they can use the phone. But the young people go beyond that. They have social media and everything. They can mobilize people. Many of the problems that we've seen, tension within countries like in Bangladesh, in Sri Lanka, in Nepal, uprising of the young people.
Yeah.
They defied the government itself. They pulled down the government just by being together with the mobile phone, connecting each other. The government fell in Sri Lanka, government fell in Bangladesh, government fell in Nepal, one after another. So that's the power that the young people have. This is a bigger picture, but even in smaller situations, young people have the solution, they get together, they come up with ideas because they can communicate with each other. That tool for communication is a very strong thing that impacts on them. So they come up with ideas and spread it very quickly. So that way, I would say the young people has to be paid a lot of attention to, so that they can lead you out of the trouble that we got into it. If not, it can do the reverse. It can make it more acute because they have the same tools to make it worse. So we have to be very careful to see and let them understand. Usually, older people ignore the young people. Oh, what do you know? You are just born the other day. You don't have any experience. We are experienced people. That's where the conflict comes. And the more the older people insist on their experience and their expertise and so on, it irritates the young people. Because they cannot replace what they don't have. They cannot bring it. The thing is still their judgment is better than the older people because they don't know enough. I have the communication, I know everything, so I become stronger than you, I can bring. So it's good to listen to the young people in a situation like that, so that rather than they do not go in the wrong way and exploit themselves and to create more difficulties. So it's good to work together with the young people and let them handle it in their own way. And you can advise, but let them see what the solution is.
Yeah. So there are a role, everybody has their role
Absolutely, yes,
to play.
important role.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Please, Dr. Emadul.
Thank you so much, sir. We have already covered all of the issues. But before concluding, we would like to ask another 2 or 3 questions.
Go ahead.
In our Harmony by Design, we already covered the issue that Western model, European model of peace building and mediation is not working in the Asian context. So we would like to promote the Asia-centric approach. Since peace building program, Sasakawa Peace Foundation, we are working on this issue last 15 years, Bangladesh, Thailand, Indonesia, and many other parts of the world. What is your suggestion?
It's a very good effort. It's Eastern communities and villages and the natural relationship with each other. It's very different than the European one. So how to make use this thing, the family connections and connections between the old and the young, men and women. There's a certain order in Eastern societies, communities that we have traditionally followed that, which may not be the same thing in the Western societies and so on. So it's good to use this facility that the very strong bond between family members in Eastern societies, in Asian societies. So that I think is very important distinction you make. And these experiences will be very useful as we go along, how to make use of them. And today it becomes more powerful because of the technology. So that technology brings stronger bond with each other and a wider bond with each other, stronger and wider. So you reach out more. It's not just a family right here, also your family's connections, long distance one. So people converge into those kind of things. Many of the families, like in Bangladesh, they are part of their family members in the Middle East working. or some other countries they're working in Europe. But when the crisis comes, they're all together on the communication devices that they have. So they create another virtual village. That village is not physical village. It's a virtual village through the internet, through the other thing, and they bring lots of ideas to solve those problems. I think that advantage that we have, having a wider kind of relationship and a distant relationship, but a very strong relationship, make this happen. So I would say that it's very important that we pay attention to that, and young people can provide the leadership in it, because they understand the power of this technology much better than the older generation in those families.
Yeah. So again, in relation to the power of the technology, do you find any difficulties for the next generation?
Difficulties will always be there, one kind or another. So that's not. But my point is, as you have younger generation coming up, I keep on pointing out, younger you are, more powerful you are. This is the reverse of the older ideas.
Yes.
Older you are, more wise you are. Now that has reversed. Younger you are, wiser you are. Because you have so many inputs coming all direction. You are not dependent on your memories, your experiences only. It's a diverse thing in front of you. So don't ignore the young people, saying that, oh, what do you know? We have grown old not by just passing days. We have gathered experiences. So you have to listen to the old people. That kind of statement I don't think is very useful, because young people are very familiar with more experiences coming to them, and they mobilize very quickly. And they see things in a more clear fashion, because it's a consultative process of the young people. Older people go through the process of gathering experiences by themselves, by the events that take place. They witness the events and so on. Young people are not witnessing the events, they are communicating the results of the events, what is happening in your place and my place, where you are. And they come to common feeling and common kind of experience which they want to share and solve the immediate problem they have. That creates a tension between the older generation and the younger generation, which is a better way to resolve. I will go with the younger generation because of the extent of communication they have.
Yes, we also agree with your statement that yes, young generation is the key for ensuring peace building in the world. As we conclude, Sasakawa Peace Foundation has been bridging this reality from the Rohingya camps in Bangladesh to Indonesia, to the communities in Indonesia with Japanese support. So my last question is, what is your message to Japan and the international community regarding the role of economic empowerment to peace building?
It's very important. Economics is the key in all situations. So you have to put in the center whatever we are doing, all good things and said and done. But if you have not addressed economic issues, they will not last long, because it will start falling apart. So economic issues has to be brought into the picture, and there will be problems in bringing in those economic issues. But until we found a solution, even a first approach to the solution, you are not fulfilling the objective of the peacekeeping, because it will fall apart again. So you have to cement the whole thing with economic ties. Whatever relationship that you built in that conflict resolution, there must be economic aspect to it, so that it glues together, so that the solution sticks, it doesn't fall apart again.
Thank you so much, sir. So Professor Mohammad Yunus, he is a living legend in the world. He is a peacemaker, he is a visionary, he is ambitious. He gives the idea of economic inclusions through his model, the microcredit. Billions of people in the world eradicate the poverty. Still, he enshrining us through his wisdom, his ideas of social business, and also in the three polycrises like climate change, displacement, and the refugee crisis, he contributed again 3-0 concept. So we must say thank you on behalf of the Sasakawa Prince Foundation in this Harmony by Design Asia Dialogue for his time and wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Thank you for
Professor.
inviting me.
Thank you.